350.
All right. So Dan, if you compare where you think Datacor is going to end up at when we finish 2020, looking ahead to 2021, do you expect your sales to be up, down, or level?
So as of the end of 2020, we're going to be about level. Um, we've grown a little in revenue. We also target, new customer acquisition, and we're a little down there. So overall, about level.
Okay.
No one wants to stay level. We want to grow the business, but there were some unforeseen things that no one had projected in 2020
Sure.
that forced us to change the way we do things.
Absolutely. And then projecting ahead for next year, do you think compared to this year, you're going to be level again, or?
I'm in sales, so
Okay.
I'm an eternal optimist. If I was a pessimist, maybe I'd go into some other field. But being an optimist, I think next year is going to be great. So again, no one can figure out the future, but I think as the vaccine gets widely distributed, which just started this week, people will feel more secure that a level of certainty, a level of kind of business as usual has returned. And I think that all of the other economic indicators are pointed in a very good direction for for upcoming years. As you know, we sell technology.
Sure.
So one of the things that the pandemic exposed is people want to work from home. People don't want to handle as much paper. They'd rather have, digitize their processes,
Sure.
and something we can really help with. I think this year would have been an up year if not for the uncertainty. Hey, are we going to have a bad phase 2 of this virus? There's the presidential transition. Was that going to happen smoothly? So that uncertainty caused us to have a flat year. And I think that demand will be pent up, and I think we'll get good growth in 2021.
Absolutely. And that term seems to be the theme of these forecast interviews, certainty. So, correct me if I'm wrong here and I want to editorialize, but it seems like if everything were the same as it was in 2020, but you remove the uncertainty around the virus, that would lead to growth in 2021, all the other fundamentals aside.
Correct. All the economic indicators point to that. I follow a lot of economists who do rate of change analysis, and who don't care who wins elections. All they care about is the numbers, and those numbers all point in the right direction. It's not always the best indicator, but some people look at the stock market as a leading indicator. What do the professionals on Wall Street think about the future? And obviously, in the last few weeks, the stock market has hit some record numbers, so they think the future looks good.
Absolutely. So you mentioned, COVID kind of exposing the need for digital technology, which you provide, people working from home or working from places other than the office. Do you expect, even once this vaccine is widely distributed and we can, God willing, put this thing behind us, that's going to continue going forward? Is this just kind of the way of the future?
I think so. And again, I'm an optimist and I believe in technology, but I think the fear was always, well, if people work from home, they won't do any work. They'll watch TV or they'll pet their dogs or cats all day. And I think since everyone was forced to work from home, a lot of companies saw there was no dip in productivity. So they realized people can work from home in certain roles. Obviously, if you're on the plant floor and you're filling cylinders, it's tough to do that from home. But if you're taking customer orders, accounting functionality, whatever it may be, those jobs, if people can do them from home, if they save themselves maybe a 30-minute commute each way to work, maybe you get some added hours from them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they've proven that they can do the job from home, why not give them that added flexibility? Doesn't cost you anything as an employer. And, maybe if enough people do it, you can rent a smaller office or have a smaller footprint, or use that space for, production related activities.
Absolutely. So kind of putting the effects of the pandemic aside, although with regards to technology, they're kind of one and the same, but is there anything else about 2021 that you have in store that you're really kind of jazzed up about?
There are. And again, I'm in the technology field, so a lot of it relates to technology, but I think, and I've heard other folks say this, the pandemic made us jump 5 to 10 years future in time because you had to adapt.
Mhm.
People went from no work from home to full work from home over a weekend as opposed to a phased approach over many years. And I think some of these trends will be more integration. Historically, maybe customers phoned in orders,
Mhm.
and when they were working from home, they were looking for other ways to submit those orders. Maybe they emailed, but maybe they are looking for a portal where they can go to a website, an Amazon type effect, and purchase their hard goods, purchase the gases they want. Maybe they're a big company and they're looking for a direct, more EDI type transaction.
Mhm.
You receive that, the confirmation back, the invoice, maybe those things can all happen digitally. So I think with or without the virus, these things were going to happen, but I think we really jumped forward
Sure.
in people looking to digitize their processes.
Absolutely. So, and I don't know the answer to this, but maybe you can help me kind of figure it out. But because we jumped kind of 5 years, or something that would have happened organically, it kind of got forced on us. We're now 9 months into the process. Are people kind of up to speed now, or is there still quite a big learning process going on with regard to that kind of shift in technology?
you know, I think people have adjusted to the new way
Mhm.
of doing things. They haven't optimized it yet, so they're getting by. Hey, I used to print this piece of paper out and I used to walk it to the back of the office. Well, they figured out how to do that from home and email someone in the back. Now, that still may not be the most effective way to do the job, but they've figured out how to take their current processes and do them remotely or do them in a less manual way.
Mhm.
I think there's a far better way to move that, where instead of printing that piece of paper out where you were handing it to someone, now you're emailing them. Maybe they're just on a tablet or on their phone and they're saying, hey Steve, here are the 5 things you need to do today. Touch the first thing that you need to get done, scan some serial numbers, load a truck. All of those things are recorded on your phone or a tablet
Sure.
instead of a piece of paper that was emailed to you that you ultimately printed out, wrote those things on, scanned, and sent back to someone for data entry. That may be the process you quickly adapted.
Mhm.
I think there are far greater levels of digitization that are available, and those obviously take some planning
Sure.
and implementation. And again, with the uncertainty, with people didn't know where their business was trending, they took the simplest approach, where there may be other approaches that yield a lot more efficiency, certainly over the long term.
Okay. We talked about the kind of the immediate impact that the COVID-19 had on the industry, but any other kind of trends that you've noticed, whether in the last 3 years or that you see kind of in the next 3 to 4 years that you think are going to really have an impact on both your business and our industry?
Yeah. So we saw some short-term trends, so obviously people, disinfecting, sanitizing, any products that were related to that, obviously they had a banner year. This was a respiratory thing, so oxygen, we saw big trends up there. And from what I'm hearing, at least the Pfizer vaccine requires cool temperatures, so the need for dry ice is going to be through the roof for the next upcoming year or so. So those are short-term trends.
Sure.
Long-term trends are always the same. People want to be more efficient. You have to do that to stay competitive. If you think back to 50 years ago, where everything was done on a paper ledger and handwritten, if you tried to do that in today's world, you'd be out of business.
Absolutely.
So,
Um,
apologize, my phone just rang.
Not at all. So, put your salesman hat on for a second. We keep talking about efficiency. That's the name of the game. How does, how does Datacor, how do your suite of products help people kind of gain that efficiency?
Yeah. It's a digital transformation. So if you think about everything that happens in a welding supply, a gas company, you get a customer order. Well, how can that be digitized? We're looking at processes that if someone emails you a purchase order, there's technology that will scrape all the data off that PDF document and automatically create an order. Maybe they place the order on your website, or maybe you're connected with them digitally. So something that was manual, a person got an order and they typed it into a software, maybe that step becomes digital.
Mm-hmm.
Customer wants to know, did you receive their order? Well, the response that, yes, I've received your order, the confirmation back becomes digital. When it's time to load a truck, instead of printing paper out and putting them in different stacks based on what's going on what truck, software can organize that for you and decide what should go on what truck. Let someone with a handheld device who's walking the facility just know what gets loaded on each truck, have the driver digitally see what stops they need to make, get that digital proof of delivery,
Mm-hmm.
and have that process queued up for customer invoice, which gets sent out automatically. If your customer happens to want to pay digitally, either through credit card or through some type of ACH, again, that gets read in. So, and that's just an example on the sell side.
Sure.
Really everything from the initial order through collecting the cash, all of that can be digitized or automated with very little human oversight. That's the ultimate goal, where the people are handling the exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we billed the customer $2,000. They paid us $1,900. Let me look at that one, because why are they short paying us $100?
Sure.
And then, find out why and figure out if that's acceptable or not. If everything goes exactly according to plan, it should be streamlined, and it should, happen with minimal human intervention. That's what we're pushing out. That's where we think the value is, short term, long term, with this industry and with all industries.
Absolutely. Anything that we kind of didn't address that you think will contribute, positively or negatively in terms of economic impact next year for your company, for the industry? Just any kind of last thoughts?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm an optimist. I want to focus on the positive. I think that I'm hopeful that this vaccine returns us to the new normal, and it's not going to be the old normal, but hopefully people are meeting face to face, are visiting, and have the opportunity to implement new technology.
Absolutely. Dan, thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you have a safe and happy holiday season.
Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate this opportunity.